This thing is ugly, but I kind of want it as a trophy, you know?
I think it is due time we revisit some ridiculous OfferUp listings. Stick around for part 2. Welcome to the 11th Fred, everybody. My name is Chris. To everybody who's returning as a subscriber, welcome back. And to everybody who is new here, stick around for a while. You might dig the place. Part 2 of OfferUp's most ridiculous listings, arguably my most popular video. But it has some good feedback. Some people really enjoyed it, and I thought, let's revisit it, because you know what? It's always fun to make fun of other people. I mean, not really, but sort of. It's all learning experiences. You know, if you're getting offended by this, I don't know, I do apologize for that, but you know what? I'm just trying to thicken your skin a little bit. That's important, right? I don't know. I'm not going to poke fun of anybody specifically, except for maybe everybody on this list. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into some of the most recent finds I discovered on OfferUp that we should be checking out. All right, so what do we got here? This one was posted about 4 months ago. It's a Schecter Monster Energy in black. This one is priced at $1,100, and that is about $900 too much. I know, these are great guitars. I love Schecter PT guitars. I think Schecter builds an awesome Telecaster style. PT, for those who don't know, stands for Pete Townsend, who actually used to be endorsed by Schecter. So if you look at like some old videos around like the mid 80s and what have you, Pete Townsend was playing Schecters. And Pete Townsend from The Who, mind you. So you'll see these HH style Telecasters that Pete Townsend used to be playing. And those are very, very pricey and very well built guitars. But anything with a brand on it, like Monster Energy, most people want to take that off. I'm sorry. I mean, if that guitar landed on my lap, I would either just never take it out in public, or I would start refinishing it immediately. Take those knobs off, take that logo off, right off the body, see what else I can do with it. But I always see these things listed in the Los Angeles market around like anywhere from like $150 to $200. It's kind of a common price point. They're really, really cool guitars, though, and they are worth every penny. If you see one for about $150, $200, grab it right away. I mean, I've seen them go as low as $40 or $50, and I've always missed out at the last second. So, is there anything about it? No, none at all. So, there's no details about it other than some photos. Let's go ahead and look at the photos. There's the back, so it's a string-through body. That's pretty cool. Schecter Diamond Series. And the Diamond Series is their import line, the most popular lineup in their arsenal. But it's a Schecter PT, and a really cool one. I mean, I'm not going to knock it, but for $1,100, that's not happening. And there's a reason why it's still up here 4 months after it was listed. They're asking way too much money. On to the next one here. We have got the Bianca Halstead of Betty Blowtorch and Butt Trumpet. Fender Precision Bass, electric bass guitar. This one's going to be a hard one to rip, but it's $50,000. I mean, that's not happening at all. That would happen for someone who's very well known, but she is not going to fetch that kind of money for this bass. And this was updated 24 days ago, but I know it's been up for a little while. It's interesting. This was actually her bass. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I would totally drop $50,000 on this, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. I don't see it. This is is this a made in Mexico too? Oh, it's a made in Japan. What do we got here? 86-ish, 86, 87, made in Japan. And I'm not going to go into her untimely death or anything like that, but this is not going to get that kind of money at all. At all. It sucks. It's a tragedy. It really is. And it breaks my heart to even talk about this, but $50,000. I mean, does anybody out there think that this is worth $50,000? Have you been waiting for this bass to pop up and telling yourself, oh yeah, I got that kind of cash to blow on this? No one's going to do that. I think Butt Trumpet is actually a pretty cool band, but they're really, really underground. They never really got that big. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's not happening. So is there anything else about this? It's just all the specs, and that's nice. This is pretty cool too. Orientation right hand. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know about this bass. What kind of pickups are in it, sort of. You know, the brands are in here. Passive VMGs, made in Japan. Has her hard shell case, and then it talks about her. Man. Talks about her death a little bit. So it gives a little bit of a backstory, but on OfferUp, for starters, this isn't going to happen. This needs to be on a place like Reverb, and even on Reverb, not going to get this kind of money. All right, guitar for $500. Guitar for $500. That's tricky. Really is. What is this? A Squire Bullet? Like a limited edition run, hardtail, single volume, bare bones, bottom of the barrel humbucker. I mean, there's nothing special about it. It's cool. It's a really cool guitar. If this appeared in my local market for around like $50-$60, I'd be all over it. But it's not a Tom DeLonge, and it's just not going to fetch that kind of money. This is still a Squire. What else we got? The Squire SP10 amplifier. Missing its logo. There it is. Barely used like 3 times, but still in the box. I know inflation's kicked in, but not this hard. $500, not happening. Cool looking guitar. Just not going to get it. All right, so what else we got here? Custom parts caster thin line hollow body, $2,900. Oof. Listed 20 days ago in Los Angeles. I mean, it's cool. It does look cool. It really does. But tell me more about it. You're going to ask almost $3,000 for a guitar, and the description is custom built, Fender neck, Bigsby, and more. Ooh, I want to throw down $2,900 to open up this surprise package here to see what's inside. We don't even know what kind of pickups are in it. We don't know who put it together. We don't know if this was hand built or if this is just Warmoth parts or even guitar fetish parts. We don't know anything about it. It might even be Fender parts. We don't know. $2,900 though, that's boutique money. It really is. And when you have a guitar listed and you don't put the details, that's all you put. It's that lazy. You don't even have enough photos. There's 2 photos. You ain't going to get that kind of money. And this guitar will either archive soon, plummet in price if they're wise, or it'll stay up here indefinitely, with this seller being very, very sad because no one wants to take this kind of a gamble. On to the next one. Figurehead Telecasper, handmade tele. So it's handmade, listed 2 years ago. I've had this one kind of kicking around in my saved items for some time, and I meant to do it on my first video, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't put it on. I think I remember going back through as I was editing that previous video, and then I saw this. I'm like, oh, I should have included that, but I didn't. So, okay, handmade guitar, figurehead, alder body, thin nitrocellulose paint, cool. Straight grain maple, quarter sawn, fat C with gloss neck, $4,000 instrument if you bought from Fender. Comes with hard shell. So we got 3 photos. Are those Seymour Duncan Invaders? Oof. I mean, I don't have anything against Invaders, but this is a very particular guitar. This is going to appeal to a specific kind of audience. And there's not enough details about it. And this was listed 2 years ago. And hasn't moved at all. It's $4,000 if you bought it from Fender. Yeah, you know it would have come from Fender. You know it probably would have come from their custom shop. You know that they're going to put their stamp of approval on it if it's going to have their name. Who is this? If you're going to ask $2,000 for a parts caster, you got to go into detail. You got to talk about who built it. What parts are named? We don't even know if these are actually Invaders. I mean, I have to guess because they sure look like Invaders to me. But outside of that, is it worth $2,000? No way. I wouldn't pay that. Not at all. Kind of cool looking. If I took it on, if I got it for cheap enough, I would totally take it and probably put some like PAF copies into it or something like that with like nickel covers. I think that would look way better than these Invaders, but it is what it is. All right, what else we got here? Custom made LV Telecaster. I don't even know what LV means, but again, no details. $1,450, marked down from $1,850. So they're asking a lot too. It looks, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm going to call you out on this one, but it looks like my mom's old purses. Louis Vuitton. Oh, Louis Vuitton. That's what LV means. Durr. I know that. Shows you how much I'm into fashion with my red shirt on and my revolving wardrobe of like 4 things. Let's see here. So, I mean, kind of cool looking. These knobs are really, really sick. But what's in it? What is this guitar? Custom made Louis Vuitton Telecaster. Awesome guitar. Good to know it's awesome. Still don't know what it is. What's in it? Talk about the specs a little bit. What's it made out of? Is it just a Louis Vuitton handbag that's been stitched onto the outside of a Telecaster? Is it a parts caster? Is it one of those DIY kits that took YouTube by storm a few years ago? I mean, it's highly possible. We don't know. That's the funny thing. Gold hardware, sure, but we don't know what this is. You got to be able to put your parts down. That's an important thing. List everything out. I can't say that enough. $14.50, not a chance. All right, Schecter Dragonburst Unique Guitar. This looks familiar. Hang on. How is this unique? $1,500. This is weird. Okay, so something's off. Practically mint condition, never played, has Sustainiac capabilities. I do have the Sustainiac pickup included. So wait, this has a Sustainiac. This is a prototype, so it's the only one that exists. How is this a prototype? Wait a second. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, so we're back, and I found on another website, studiogears.com, the Schecter Hellraiser Passive C1 FRS electric guitar in Dragonburst, and this FRS has a Sustainiac in the neck. All right, we got 3 knobs, 2 DP/DT switches, a blade switch, abalone binding around the outer edge here. Those inlays look familiar. It's got a Floyd Rose system. All right, let's go back over here to this. It's all the same. How is this a prototype? This is modded. Wait, let's go back one more time. How much is that going for? $10.79. That's what it was going for. When I took a pause, I looked, and these are no longer in production in this color. They do still make them. They're about $10, like $49, $10.99, something like that. Brand new. Now, in the Dragonburst color, it's discontinued from what I'm able to gather. They took the Sustainiac out, which is weird. Why would you do that? Sustainiacs are awesome. You got one in there and everything's wired up. Let's just go for it. So this person's kind of pulling your leg or has no idea that this is a production model. I mean, if it's a prototype, I'd love to figure out how it's a prototype because it looks like it has factory stickers on here. Some quality control stickers. I don't see anything on here that insinuates it's a prototype at all. This looks regular. Pulling your leg here. $1,500, too much, not happening. On to the next one. Tascam Portastudip. Tascam Portastudip 424 MK3. I don't understand these at all. I remember playing with these when I was a kid, and they were the way to go. That was what you had. You didn't have DAWs or anything like that. There was no recording to your computer yet. And if you had a computer that could record, you were paying big money to get things like Sound Tools, which then later on turned to Pro Tools. But from the affordable side of things, this was the quote-unquote garage band for the 90s. And you really would like load this into your garage and just start tracking into it, stuff like that. There was no mic pre's or anything in these. And we all hated them. And then all of a sudden we started loving them again. And they're asking big money. This is the most expensive I've ever seen one of these things go for, $1,000. And it's slightly broken. It's missing the cassette cover. So classic 4-track tape machine for sale, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, the only thing is the plastic flap that covers the tape is missing, but that doesn't seem to matter at all. Of course, it'll get dirty. Your playheads will get nasty, but whatever. $1,000. No way. No way. Not for your broken crap. All right, next here we got a Fender that's a Fender Champion 600, not a Fender Champ. That's slightly different. The Fender Champion 600, it was a reissued amplifier that came out a few years ago, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. What was it, like maybe 2015, I want to say. And they came back, and they're really cool. They were about $149 brand new. And then I think I remember seeing them clear out for like about $99. They were really cheap. One volume knob, no frills, Just a nice throwback. They weren't the best amps out there, but they were a lot of fun for the money. So this one's $850, marked down from $1,000. That red grow cloth is not normal. That was added later. Oh boy. Okay, so this is a great sounding modded Fender Champ. It has a 3-band EQ, treble, mids, and bass. Why would you want that on this? The gain control and a negative feedback on-off switch. It also has Jensen P6V. Let's see here. So it's got a Mojitone output transformer. That's kind of cool too. But $850, man. I mean, thing's not even a Champion anymore. You can even see it right there. Champion 600. Supposed to be just this volume knob. Now you got all this other crap thrown on there too. I presume that's the negative feedback switch. And then you got your 3-band EQ. That's probably the gain right here, if I had to guess. But it sure is not fun to look at. And at $850, I wouldn't pay it. All right, so yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. If you would pay $850 for something like this, let me know in the comments. These are fun little modding platforms, so it's nice to see that this person had their fun, but they're not going to get that return of investment. And that's clear because this person listed it about a month ago, and there's no movement on this amp. They dropped the price once down $150 to $850, and still not moving. So, I don't know. I mean, that's the hard thing. I brought that up in a previous video too, where your cheap budget instrument will always be a cheap budget instrument. And this is a great example of that. It doesn't matter what you do to it. It's a Champion 600 reissue. At the end of the day, you mod it all day long, and that's awesome. This person modded it hopefully for themselves and maybe just decided that they outgrew it, or it's just not really tickling them anymore and they wanted to move on. Whatever their reasons are, it's their reasons, but this is a lot of money to ask. So if they modded this guitar specifically to sell it at a profit, it's not going to happen unless it's someone like Mike Soldano who did it, a name that most people know very, very, very well. There's no point in trying to list a modded amp like this. No one knows who wired it. No one's going to care. And I know there's going to be some of you guys who will disagree and then dog on me in the comments. That's okay. Please do. We'll talk about it. I like talking about it. So this next one I want to jump into, this is a revisit from the last video. The next guitar used to be listed for about $1,500. It was a Les Paul Tribute that was carved horribly. It's damaged. Is it not? Is it not damaged? I mean, I thought it was an eyesore. It was artistic. I looked at it as damaged, but it is what it is. These days, he's dropped his price. Quite a few times, actually. So, Gibson Les Paul Tribute Guitar, artified. Interesting, but playable. So there it is in a case. Same guitar, better photos, amen to that. I don't know if they watched this video or not, but immediately I started seeing better photos. I saw that guitar relisted over and over and over for too much money with terrible photos, and then out comes new photos and lower prices. So that's pretty cool. And at $450, I'll be honest, I'm kind of tempted. This thing is ugly, but I kind of want it as a trophy, you know? I'm not going to do it, but $450 is really tempting me. Not as a player, not as something I would just want to go rock out with. This is tempting as a trophy. I don't know, something I would hang on the wall behind me. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're ready to part ways with it, and they just want to make it gone. So I don't know if they watched my video in the past. They may have. Someone might have shown him my video, whatever. But the photos are much better. The price is way more realistic. This is a price point I could get behind. And I just wanted to revisit this one more time just to point that out, because I'm kind of proud. If I'm being honest, I like seeing that this has come down in price quite a bit. So what do you think? What's your favorite guitar in the lot today? I mean, a lot of those guitars, they pop up all the time. And I did point out in a previous video that there are those people who are very disillusioned as to how much their guitars are actually worth on the used market. Some of these are great examples of that. If you don't believe me, refer back, hit the rewind button, watch it again, because they're there. And these are just some of the ridiculous listings that I've pointed out. That's it. This is not anything run-of-the-mill. If you were to go on OfferUp right now and just thumb through the listings, you'll always see people who are listing their used gear that sells brand new for, I don't know, like $550, and they list it for $500. used because it's cheaper than it was new, and people think that's a realistic starting point. And it's not. It really isn't, because you might tell yourself as a seller, oh yeah, it's totally a realistic starting point. But as a buyer, you're telling yourself, no way, I could just get a coupon or whatever, wait for a sale to happen, or grind them down on the price at the store to make that new price the same as or even cheaper than the used price itself. I mean, right? So those people are there all the time, whether they're trying to upgrade their guitar, to flip it, or to sell it, whatever. And some of these are great examples of that very thing. Remember, if you're new to the channel, if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe and then hit that little bell notification to be notified when I upload new content. Also, make sure you like the video, share it with your friends. Why not? Your friends will like you if you share this video with them. Comment below what you want me to look at next. Is there another classified site that you like to frequent the most? There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of fun things to check out. I love browsing used listings. It's a lot of fun. I come up with a lot of gear all the time. So again, thank you guys so much for coming on back. My name is Chris. You've been watching The 11th Fret. See you guys in the next video.